We are officially the first generation of parents in this fully digital age. We can remember a time in our lives before cell phones, before mega computers fit in our pockets. We are also navigating parenthood, learning how to parent in an age when technology is advancing at breakneck speeds. I know I personally can't keep up. Today, I wanted to share with you how we are using Bark for our family's devices. Guys, before we go any further, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. Today's video is in partnership with Bark. And if you do not know what Bark is, it is a monitoring service for parents to help keep an additional set of eyes on what their kids are doing digitally. So we're gonna get into it and we're gonna talk more about it. I wanted to come on and I wanted to share with you, we have recently chosen to kind of expand our technological world a little bit. If you recall, my kids got new tablets for Christmas and they're a little bit more open than the last ones were. So they're not a fully locked down operating system. Ditto, my oldest's cell phone has expanded a little bit. Something that I feel like is worth noting is we are a mixed operating system family. So what that means is I am PC Android, my husband is PC Android. We have Apple products. So we've got an Apple phone now and we've got Apple tablets. And so it's really important to us that we find a system that's going to seamlessly integrate across that kind of mixed operating systems, which isn't always the case. However, in our new experience with Bark, we are finding it to be quite easily navigable, which I really appreciate because, again, technology is advancing a little bit faster than I am, and I don't want to have to learn anything new. I want it to be easy, I want it to be seamless, and I want products that deliver what they say they're going to deliver. Now, I'm going to circle back to how we are using Bark here in just a minute. If you are unaware, Bark started out as a monitoring app for your children's phones and devices, tablets, social medias. However, they have expanded to actually offer a phone now, which comes fully loaded with all of the amazing features that Bark has to offer, as well as they have an in-home Wi-Fi monitoring system that you can hook up to your entire home. Today, specifically, I will be talking about Bark Premium, which is the app monitoring service, but we're gonna circle back to that in just a minute. I'm also gonna give you a look at their website, a look inside the parent dashboard and what that looks like. I'm gonna talk about our experience setting it up. But for now, let me give you just a little bit of details about Bark. So Bark was started by a dad who wanted to protect his kids. He searched out something that would help him navigate the social media presence and, you know, your kids having internet access and therefore people having internet access to them. And he found that there was a severe void in the market. And what do? Us ingenious parents, when we can't find what we need, we simply create it. So Bark was founded by a dad who was just looking to help secure the safety, the online presence of his two children. As many of you know, I take online safety very seriously. I take a lot of steps, which I'm not going to name here, but trust me, I take a lot of steps both on the front end and the back end to protect my family's safety. We have encouraged our children to always, one, talk about what they're going through, but two, we have searched out online programs to help them understand their online presence, understand what they're risking. And I know that this is a really big topic because I have and often do see adults who struggle with knowing what is oversharing, what is undersharing. So I know that when our children, whose brains have not fully developed yet, they can't possibly understand the ramifications of all of their actions. I know that if adults are still struggling with this, certainly our children who are trying to learn simply how to be adults can't possibly fathom the implications and the results of their actions when it comes to things like oversharing online. And I know if you are a parent who is paying any amount of attention to the world, like I am, you have seen the stories of children who have voluntarily left their homes and met up with somebody who had nefarious purposes. You have seen the stories of children who met, older people through apps that you wouldn't even necessarily expect. So through social medias and through game apps where they have any kind of communicative properties. And that is what we are talking about now. No longer is it completely, stranger danger. Some random person is going to come snatch your kid from their front yard. Now you have to worry about anything that involves any kind of information exchange through all of your digital aspects. So we're talking about gaming systems, phones, tablets, apps, all kinds of situations now do expose our children to things that we maybe aren't ready for them to be exposed to, or that they just literally are not capable of understanding that exposure. So there are things even now. You guys know I'm raising girls, so being able to have just a little bit of my thumb on the pulse of what is being exchanged, even through text messages, for me is a very big deal. Now, I know a lot of people might feel like, this is an invasion of privacy. I absolutely do not feel that way at all. It is. And the way that I have explained it to my daughters is that we are doing our part to ensure your safety. And this is one of the tools in our tool belt that's going to help us properly parent you. We do have to, just like if you took your kids out into the world, you're going to keep an eye on them. I'm going to keep an eye on you in the digital world too. So that is just part of the exchange. If you want those benefits, you have to understand that there is kind of a cost that comes with that. And that cost is letting mom and dad have that oversight so that we know when we do need to step in. And maybe it's something as severe as bullying or self-harm behavior or, inappropriate language or explicit messages or images, all of which the bark algorithms can pick up on. But maybe it's something that doesn't even come across immediately as a problem. Frenemy talk. You guys know, if you've got girls, that kind of borderline, maybe it's not okay, maybe it's friendly, maybe it's not. Those are things that I feel like as a parent, I still want to be able to talk through and work through so that my children can best understand how to navigate those processes. And if you are a parent like I am, you are surely at an age when you realize that other children are parented differently. We can't control that, but what I can do is keep an eye on my own children, and therefore I do have a little bit of an eye on other children. So if other children are talking about their concerns, bark flags that for me to review as well. And again, we're going to get into this whole thing, but these are the reasons why I feel it's a good time to come here and share with you, because we ourselves, our family, has kind of branched into that next leg of the race. And so I want to be able to share those things with you. Now, a few of the features, and we've only been using this a few days, a few of the features that I love, absolutely love so far. I have a kid who's getting older and she's doing a lot of events and she's going places and she's not always getting there by me. She's carpooling. One of the features that Bark has set up is you can plug in a frequent location, and as soon as she gets there, as soon as her device gets there, it will let me know she made it. She doesn't even have to remember to check in with me. It lets me know she got there, and I love that. So location services is amazing because you can know where your kids are. You can know when your kids are there. And those are things that I think are pretty valuable as a parent of, tweenage kids coming up in this new world. I think it's amazing. So I do want to pop over and not just gab at you the whole time, but I want to give you a look inside the program a little bit and help you understand. Like I said, we do have mixed operating platform devices, so it was really excited that those worked across them. So what I want to give you is I want to give you a look into the parent dashboard to give you a little bit more information about that, and we'll discuss things like cost and all of that over there. So let's pop over and check it out. Okay guys, here we go. Let's take a look inside Bark. As you can see, they've got this awesome info bubble. Here we go. Advanced content monitoring for all of your kids' devices. Available on Apple, Android, Windows, Chrome, and Amazon. Now here, we're going to talk about all of these things. manage your screen time. You get alerts 24/7. You can block websites, you can track location, and you can monitor content. Now, right here, 7 million children have been covered by Bark. 2.2 million severe self-harm situations are detected. 4.1 million severe bullying situations detected. Now is a really good time to tell you guys a funny story. Once we started monitoring with Bark, my kids like to text each other from their iPads, and not kidding, one of them, I think they were talking to their cousin or something on FaceTime, dropped the iPad on the other one's face. And it was so funny because she was telling about how she got hit in the face with the iPad and it flagged it for like bullying or harm. And I thought it was so funny. These are all of the places that Bark has been featured. Monitor text, social media, search, and more. AI-powered safety alerts in over 45 categories. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so we can do all kinds of things. This is the pricing. Again, you can try it free. There's the Bark app. There's also Bark Junior, which is like before any kind of social media accounts. So just monitoring, minimal communication. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to log in and I will give you a look around. Okay. Okay. So you're going to have to trust me that there is a map right here because I'm going to block it out because you don't need to know where I live. Again, internet safety. Okay. So we've got our 2 kids up top. As you can see, it's got the little "they are connected" thing. And so I can go in and I can click on either one and it's going to take me straight there. Now, these are the options that are available, and I'm going to show these to you as well. One of the things that I do like is you get email alerts from Bark, and I think you can set up how often you get them. But it's giving me like information I don't have. Like, this is what this emoji means, and this is what this means, and I think that's really amazing. So let's pop in. I'm just going to do A because she has 2 devices. Now, as you can see, it's connected and connected, and they've been scanned, and we are happy. There is a new situation with the iOS operating software where the kids type in a code that says, "Trust this computer," anytime I initiate a scan, and I am okay with that. And my children understand that they have to do that. Now, when I add a device, I can set up different apps. I can click this down and start analyzing at any time, but it is doing that all the time for me. Now, if I click into apps, I can set up content for monitoring. So I can connect their devices. I can literally log into their social media accounts, of which we have none. But when we get to that point, I can log into those accounts and it's going to monitor them as well. And I can log into all of these things and it will monitor those accounts. It will monitor your email accounts and your Dropbox. It will monitor your desktop browsers. Okay, so it does give you the options to monitor everything, including some of these game apps. Now, when I pop over into settings, I can adjust the sensitivity for the things that it is searching for. So it is searching for anything that leads it to believe there is anxiety. I can change it to give me all of them or give me none of them. Body image or eating related. Again, I've got girls, and I'm not saying it's not possible for boys. I'm just saying statistically it's more likely for girls. Bullying, okay? And this goes all or just severe, okay? Because again, she dropped the iPad on her face and it wasn't technically bullying. Change in account activity. Dangerous organizations, depression, drug or alcohol related content, hate speech, which is really important, okay? Because I don't want my kids running around calling people names or using derogatory terms or being called any of those things. It's important to address that. Inappropriate behavior or content, medically concerning content, profanity. I do have an anecdote to tell of a friend who her daughter had texted her dad asking for like Tylenol or aspirin or whatever, and she got flagged because it was medically concerning content. And I like that personally. Okay, you can give them a little leeway on the words they're using. Public profiles, if your kids are set to public profiles, risky app or site usage, self-harm. You can do severe or most severe, all, sexual content, violence, weapons, And then you can have ignored users, okay? So these are all amazing things that I think it's so cool that it's doing it for me. And I think that is amazing. Now, let me give you an example of the alerts. Okay, so these are the alerts that were picked up from her iPad and her phone. Here's violence. She hit me in the head with the iPad. I'm sorry, but I love it. And then I can go through and decide what's appropriate and what's not. And here is one of those examples of, do you know what this thing is? Because kids are doing this. And it lets me know where the social trend is. Social trend is on TikTok. I even get alerts about app usage for apps that I'm totally okay with. Now let me show you the family map. Again, I'm not going to show you where I live. Sorry, folks. But right here, if you click Manage Locations, if I click Manage Locations, I can type in any address I want. I can give it a nickname, choose an icon, and click Add Location. And when I do that, it will automatically check her in when she gets there. Went ahead and added Houston Zoo. We'll make it a friend. And then over here in Discover, there are a lot of blog posts. There are quizzes to let you know what you know, videos, updates, all kinds of anything you could need here. Now, let me tell you, I didn't realize that after a Wi-Fi outage, the devices weren't on the same network anymore. So I did run into a little hiccup in setup. Thankfully, Bark's customer support chat was so helpful and I was connected in no time. I just had to make sure both devices were on the same Wi-Fi network. Now, here are screen time rules. So I can switch rules, I can pause rules, I can decide what is allowed and what is never allowed. I can also add in routines, which is so cool. I can decide a schedule daily or weekly from what is okay and what is not okay. I can also hit pause and pause all internet on all their devices. And I think that's amazing because sometimes you just need to be able to shut it down. Location services give you an idea of where they've checked in. And here on Insights, it will tell you who they've spoken to, how much they've spoken. You get your alerts, your recently used apps, conversations come up, all kinds of things. Let me see. Okay, so under the Insights tab, it lets you know what all they've done, any alerts that have come up, their top contacts, their app usage, their messages, all kinds of things that you might need to know. I can also request a check-in. So I can say, I need to know where you are. I need to know if you're okay. Just let me know. And it will prompt on her device. Big red button comes up that she has to click that says check-in. And it's so easy to add a child. That's another thing that I think is really important when you're looking at the pricing is that Bark, the cost of $14 a month or only $99 billed annually covers all of your children and all of their devices. So I'm running 2 kids and 3 devices on one plan. And I think that is amazing for cost savings, especially if you've got a lot of devices or a lot of kids. It is really nice to not have to pay multiple services. So I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover. If you have any questions at all, reach out to me. I'm super happy to answer. And maybe there's something I wasn't clear about. Just let me know. You can find me here or over on Instagram. I'm happy to share. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed that look inside of the Bark platform. Just a few more things that I wanted to talk about. If you're wondering when you should do this, the when is as soon as they have an option to communicate digitally, which is why Bark does offer that Bark Junior plan. I do also want to just remind you that this is a new age and things are changing. I know personally as a parent, I can have the best of intentions of doing something, but sometimes I get a little distracted. So let's say, yes, I don't make it in to actively check her devices for a week or 2 weeks. And that just happens to be the week or 2 weeks when something big is happening on that device in her life. And the fact that Bark does provide that extra set of eyes and that extra set of hands to help me navigate parenthood is truly invaluable to me. So I hope that you found any of this helpful, entertaining, or informative. If you did, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. I do have Bark linked down below, and they do offer a 7-day free trial, so it does not hurt to just give it a shot. You don't have to take my word for it. Look into it for yourself and go and take the 7-day trial. If you are thinking that something like this could benefit you, then it will. It's one of those things where if you have doubts, if you have any little seed planted in your brain that says maybe this could help, it absolutely will. And even if you purchase Bark and you use Bark and you never get an alert about anything, isn't that an amazing peace of mind as parents in this age? So check it out. Again, 7-day free trial. You don't have to trust me. Just go give it a look.